Good evening, folks. Pierce here again with another update for the HSD miniature campaign. Last time we spoke, I showed you a little video that was comparing the pre-sculpts that we have to some miniatures that you may have seen before if you're familiar with tabletop miniature games, to give you an idea of what scales you were dealing with and how close the detail was. So hopefully that cleared up some of those questions. Some other ones you might have is how you're going to use this system to put together a miniature of your own and exactly what it is you're compiling. So if you look over the campaign itself, it will explain that you're using heads and arms and torsos, things of that nature in order to put together a figure. But I want to actually show you that in person so you can see sort of the work in progress of how this is going to process. So while I don't have the actual interface built yet, because that's part of this campaign, we do have some test models that we're going through, beginnings of torsos, beginnings of heads, all that stuff to try to keep things moving with the intent that we're going to be successful in funding, hopefully, so that we can try to keep the wait time down, because these do take a little while to make. So what I'm going to do instead is show you the pre-renders of just sort of these half-finished projects so you can see how they all go together. So here's a head, ta-da! This was sort of the beginning of the Badger head, I believe, for the Badger section of this particular project. So if I were to grab one of these, as opposed to a fox or a dog or any of the other heads that we have available, I would have this available to me, and I would then select a torso. So here is one of several torsos available in different genders, and different body types, and different armor types. Grab the one that's most appropriate for what it is that you want your character to look like. And then I go on to legs, and I've got a pre-render here of some digigrade legs versus some plantigrade legs that are over here. I want to grab some arms to go with it. These arms are just kind of basic armored arms, but we'd also have arms that have the swords attached as described in the stretch goals, some with the guns, etc. You just grab the ones from these different selections that are going to create the best model for you. The ones that I selected here are just based off renders that we have on hand, so I don't have them all assembled, but I do have this one that'll turn around here. That was a beginning of a fox one, and you can see that this figure has been fully assembled with head, arms, legs in a certain pose, a torso that was selected from the torso options, and this one includes a tail, of which there are many different types. One of the questions that have popped up is whether or not you're going to be able to mix and match aspects from different species, and yes, you can. You can grab anything from any of the different collections and attach it to anything else that you want to in order to create something truly bizarre, if that is something you feel like what you're trying to do. So you'll be able to take tails from one or multiple tails from one, if we get to that point in the stretch goals. Or arms from one and a head from another, and just kind of mix and match aspects in order to get a creature that is to your liking. So obviously, the further we get in funding, the more options we have available with what we can build with this system, and that gives you more options for creating your character. As we get further along with the development of these models, we'll start establishing poses and get these things a little bit more excited than just a T-pose that they're in currently. So stay tuned, and we'll see you then.